Hello and welcome to class number 2 with your girl Lolo. I'm so happy to have you in class. So I'm going to just give a rundown of what we're doing today and show you the class materials, which I did add in the description below and on your class video page when you click on this to see this video. So if you need to pause the video after I share the materials, by all means do what you need to do. So today we're going to start with some breathing practice. As always, we breathe to ground us into the space. We're going to drop into a yoga flow. This is all about rebirth. So we're going to do it from grounding, like fully lying down on the mat. We'll flow up into standing and then come right back down to reawaken and rebirth. We'll go through that whole life cycle. Then we're going to do our creative activity that has to do with the affirmations and reminders that we did last week, and you'll be able to add on as you go through our time here, but then also just through life, and it's going to create this really beautiful board for yourselves that I'm so excited to show you. And then we'll end with some breathing, and that'll be your class for the day, and I'll give you a rundown on your assignment. But I'm very excited to be here with you, and let's get started. So in terms of class materials, you can grab any pens, Sharpies, markers that you have. Grab anything and everything, because that's what you'll write with. I have both tape and like push pins. So if you wanted to get some push pins, you could also do that depending on what kind of board you're using, because you could use a canvas board, you could use a cork board, you could just use a regular piece of paper, you could use construction paper. So depending on what you're using as your board, you could have tape, you could have the push pins, or both. So in terms of paper, if you even just wanted to get started today just to practice or something, you could use regular white paper. If you have harder like construction paper or thicker printer paper, then by all means you can grab that as well. And then what you're going to be writing on is, I like to have colorful piece of paper. Again, you're doing your own board, so if you want just one sort of color or you have two colors in mind, that's also fine. But I have all these like colored papers here like this, and you're pretty much just going to cut them into little squares, and those squares are going to have your like reminders and affirmations on them. So again, in terms of materials, you have some sort of board, you have something to stick everything with, which is either the tape or push pins, markers, pens, Sharpies, whatever you need for writing utensils, scissors if you're going to cut out pieces of paper or you could also rip paper, and then your colorful paper to write on. So those are your class materials for the creative activity. Now, for the yoga practice, all you need is a space to flow. So if you were able to create a space where you could lie down, like the length of you, like lying down, you should be good. If you have a yoga mat, awesome. If you have a blanket, a towel, anything, if being on the surface of your floor is good enough, perfect. And then there is only one support that I had planned when you get into child's pose during this sequence. So if you want to grab a pillow off of your bed, a bolster, a cushion, totally fine, just have that nearby. Now if you happen to have blocks with you, or you want to use like books as blocks, you can grab those as well. It's not necessarily needed for practice. It is just if you want to explore with it, or if you know that you happen to like having your blocks with you, then by all means. I typically would too, but I left my blocks at the community center, I believe. So I just don't have mine on me. But anyways, we're going to get started. We are just going to take a collective full body breath just to ground us into class itself as a whole. So if you can find a comfortable seat, let the shoulders relax, let the eyes close, the gaze soften. Tune into your breath, that aliveness that exists within you. Giving gratitude to be here today, to be in practice with our breath, and a moment of stillness. Allowing everything to unlock and release. And we'll take a collective breath together. It'll be an inhale drawn through the nose, and on the exhale, we're going to audibly sigh out of the mouth. So come in with me. Take a breath in and let it go. Beautiful. If you need to sit here for another moment or two, you absolutely can. Just wanted to share that anytime you're in space with me through my offerings, my classes, my teachings, it's all choice-based. I come from the trauma-informed lens, and you do know your body best and what it is that it's asking for in a given moment. I'm simply a mirror here to guide you through a practice that I intentionally placed, but you always have options, and sometimes those options are to just simply sit or lie down and breathe. To speak to yourself with kindness and love. To slow things down. We're going to start lying down. Now your legs could be stretched out long. They could have feet planted, knees are bent. Arms can rest wherever they wish. They could be by your side. They could be resting on the body. But you're going to soften your gaze or close the eyes. And just notice how it feels to be in your body, on the mat, or the surface, wherever you are right now. Redirecting our attention to the breath, to our natural rhythmic flow, as our chest rises and falls. As the ribcage and belly expand and contract. And we'll do 3 rounds of 4, 7, 8 breathing practice. It'll be an inhale count for 4. We'll hold the breath for 7 and exhale out for 8. This is a nervous system regulation practice, activating our parasympathetic nervous system, letting our mind and body know that we're coming into a more regulated state, which does not always mean rest and peace. It actually means to come back into your window of tolerance, into a place where you can manage how you're feeling. And yes, of course, for some it might mean coming into states of rest or calm. It could naturally do that. But it's okay if it's not. And I just wanted to name that here. So again, with this being choice-based, you could continue breathing at your own pattern or choose to come with me. So take a clearing breath in and a breath out. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale slow, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale slow, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, release, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Returning back to your natural breathing rhythm. Take one more round of breath here. From here, we're going to shift our legs, extended out if they haven't already. Just noticing that transition for a moment here. You might take a breath in and a breath out. Allowing the right foot, we're going to be in a supine tree pose. So the right foot is going to be leaning against the inside of your left leg while the knee is out to the side. Your arms in your tree pose, supine, will be reaching above the head. Maybe they have bent elbows, maybe they're straight. Allowing everything to relax here. Staying open in the hip. Take several deep breaths as we embody what it feels like to just be a tree lying down. Our roots extended out as we plant the seeds to our life. Take another round of breath here. And then you're going to take a supine butterfly pose as your transition. So feet are now together, knees are out wide, arms stay exactly as they are, eyes are closed or gaze is softened. A moment in your butterfly pose. And then you're extending the right leg out long this time. So now you're in tree pose on the left side. Two more rounds of breath here. Creating that connection with your life force energy and letting it carry with you through your practice as you connect movement to breath. Next time you take an inhale, you'll bring that right foot to meet the left again for your butterfly pose. Spend a moment here. And then you'll bring knees together now. So you're closing the legs, knees are together. And you're going to draw them into the chest. From here, you'll gently rock side to side, kind of massaging out that low back area. Our arms have stayed where they are. And maybe you start to draw a circle with the knees. Let's do a round in one direction. And then you go in the opposite direction for a round. Allowing your arms to now wrap around the legs. You'll say, I love you, followed by your name. So I would say, I love you, Lolo. I love you, Lolo. I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, Lolo. And then allowing yourself to come up into a seat. Hands are at the back of the legs, or maybe from fetal position. While you're finding your way to a seat, gently bring yourself up. Now, I personally am going to choose to sit on my knees with a cushion in between my legs. You can sit in a crisscross position. You could sit with the legs extended out. You are going to choose a seat that works for you. The seat has absolutely nothing to do with the stretches we're about to do. This is just where I feel comfortable right here in this moment. So again, you choose the shape that represents how you feel in this moment. And we're going to take a moment to notice that transition. We always slow things down and allow ourselves to feel through these shapes. We're not rushing. We're taking our time, letting the body settle in. Then when you feel ready to, we're just going to start to draw those shoulders back. The arms are hanging loose by the sides. Maybe there's a softened gaze here, or the eyes could be closed, almost like you're peeking through your eyelashes if there's a softened gaze. Start to draw those shoulders forwards. And then maybe you draw them back one at a time, like we're taking a backstroke in the pool. Again, kind of just moving the body, the spine, any stagnant energy, we're just kind of shifting it around. And you'll find some stillness here. And then we're going to take some seated, like cat-cows. So on an inhale, you're going to draw the shoulders back. Arms are going to lift. So we're incorporating the cat-cow, but with the arms. So arms are going to expressively lift out. You're drawing the shoulders back. On the exhale, you're rounding in the spine, and you can wrap those arms around your body. So you're going to do 2 more just like that. Inhale to burst open like flower petals in bloom. Arms are out to the sides. And exhale to fold it all in as you round in the spine. Last one at your own pace. Let the heart open here. And let the hands go down by your sides. Now from here, you could either continue to do this next part in your seat, or now you can come to your knees. And we're just going to shift our body up as like growing. So we're going to grow tall, and you're shifting on the knees. So you're going to lift up onto the knees here. Open those arms out wide like tree branches. And then exhale. So you'll shift back onto your heels or back into your seat or a cushion. I happen to be on a cushion. And you'll take 2 more rounds of that. So inhale, you'll lift up. Arms are going to expand out like tree branches and growing. And then exhale, everything sits back down again. Last round. Inhale. Exhale. Awesome job. Let's head to all fours. So on all fours here, if you need a blanket or cushioning underneath the wrists and the knees, you can take a blanket here. As we come onto all fours, we're going to tuck the toes underneath us and the hips up towards the ceiling, downward facing dog. Allow yourself to pedal out the feet here for a moment in this down dog. And we're going to go through a flow. So you might catch on to the flow and move at your own pace, or you might just come with me, but we are connecting breath to movement. If you need to take your time going through, then please do listen to your body. Take an inhale breath, right leg is going to rise up towards the ceiling, breathe here. Exhale, driving that knee into the chest, step the foot in between your hands, back knee taps down. On the inhale, arms are going to reach up overhead, interlace the fingers, and we'll take a slight back bend. Exhale, hands are going to plant. You'll shift the hip back, straighten the front leg. The head and neck will bow down. 1 breath here. Inhale to re-bend into your knee. You'll step the foot back, and you're shifting all the way to the belly, letting the pelvis hit first, and then the chest. Elbows are tucked in, wrists are by the rib cage here. We're pushing up into cobra pose. Straight those arms. On an exhale, we're shifting back into a child's pose with the feet, the knees together. So the feet are together. The knees have a little bit of space in between them. The forehead is down on your mat. Arms are extended out. 1 more round of breath here. Inhale, you're coming back through your downward facing dog so we can go to the other side. That left leg will rise. Exhale, step it forwards in between the hands. Back knee taps down. Low lunge variation as we interlace the fingers. Take a slight back bend. Exhale, plant the hands, send the hip back, half split.
Inhale to rebend into the knee, step the foot back, shifting all the way to the belly. We're coming through cobra pose. Child's pose. Downward facing dog. One more round of breath here. And then walk those feet up towards the hands. We're in a fold, knees are bent, arms are loose, chin is tucked. Inhale with the hands planted to the floor, or if you have any sort of props nearby, maybe a pillow or something. Straightening those arms, could be a slight bend in the knee. You're coming into a flat back here. Exhale, fold it all back in. We'll get a little taller this time. You'll take the flat back and maybe the hands kind of float. Exhale, fold. Last one, inhale. This time the arms are going to draw back, almost like an airplane pose. And then exhale, fold in. Slowly you'll rise towards standing with knees bent, chin tucked, moving one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders will draw back first, and then head will lift. Alrighty, so from here, you can meet me at the middle of the mat. We're going to take an inhale. Arms are going to reach up above the head. Elbows will go out a little wide. The chest is open and lifted here, expansive in the body. The head slightly lifts. Exhale, hands come back down to sides one more time. Inhale to reach those arms up, open, expand those branches. Exhale, let it all come back down. Tree pose, several options here with the feet. You might start with the right foot rooted into the earth as the left foot plants where the toes are still on the ground but the heel is pressed into the side of your shin. That's one option. The second option is you could bring your foot to your calf muscle. You don't want it at your knee. So make sure it's on the calf, not the knee. And then the last option is you could bring the heel all the way to the inner thigh and let this be your shape. Allow yourself to play and invite joy into the space here in your tree pose. So you'll choose the tree pose you wish. You're drawing the heel into the body, which is why we don't want it at the knee because our knee does not shift in that direction. You're drawing the knee that is currently bent in the shape is going back to open the hip. Hands are going to start at heart center. And then when you feel ready to expand into your tree and grow, you can start to expand. Feel your body as it stretches out. And then maybe you stay here in your tree just noticing how it feels to be here compared to our supine tree on the floor. Or your tree might want to start to move as if there's wind, or if it wants to dance and just unwind. Let yourself embody into the tree that makes the most sense to you. And let play be fun. Let that inner child just explore. Because although we might have grown into our adult self, our adult tree, we still let our inner child play and feel free. One more breath. Exhale, hands come back to heart center. You'll step that foot down, shake out the legs, shake out the wrists, just let everything go. And then we're recentering to go to the other side. So you're planting through the left foot and the right knee will bend, placing it where you wish onto the trunk of your body. Hands will start at heart center. And then expand and grow into your tree. And it's okay if it's different than the other side. Allow yourself to play. We've got 4 rounds of breath. If you come out, allow yourself to either come back in or choose not to and just breathe and shake it all out. Remember, you have choices here. And wobbles and shakes are normal. One more breath. Hands come together at heart center, stepping that foot down to meet the left and shake everything out. And now, rooting through our breath, we'll place a hand on the tummy and one on the heart. Take a big breath in and a breath out. Excellent. Now let's make our way down to the floor so we can head into our corpse pose. Inhale, embracing all that we've become as this beautiful tree that we are. On the exhale, let everything melts down. Hang here for a breath in and out. Then you'll plant the hands on the earth. Step the feet back one at a time as you tap the knees down. So you're allowing your whole body to surrender into the arms of Mama Earth. Let everything melt so that your body is no longer in action. It is fully in a state of rest. Resting your cheek on the surface beneath you, or maybe you have a pillow or blanket to rest the head on. We'll be here for a few more rounds of breath. If your cheek was facing one direction, you can switch it to the other side now. We'll take another full body breath here. Option to stay here and enjoy this shape and this moment as is, breathing with your mind, body, and spirit. Or choose to shift into a supported child's pose by gently peeling yourself up. You could use a pillow, you could use a bolster, a cushion. I'm just using my meditation cushion here. And so the toes are together behind you. The knees are out wide. You'll bring your bolster, pillow, or cushion in between your thighs and very gently bring yourself down onto the cushion and breathe. Take your time adjusting into the shape. If this is too active in the hips, because this is and can be a very activating pose, then you could always just continue to lie on the tummy and exist there for 3 more rounds of breath. Take another breath here. And very gently, you'll pick yourself up. We're going to transition onto our backs. So please take your time. If you were already lying on your tummy, you can very gently roll over. If you were in child's pose or any other pose that you just happen to fall into, then by all means, you'll pick yourself up. Take your time, finding your way onto your back, extending those legs out. We're coming into our corpse pose. So we've shed the layers, the old thought patterns that do not serve our highest good. We've released all energies that are not meant for us to carry. We've discovered some new affirmations, reminders, and action items. We just flowed through a life cycle as we started rooted into the earth, growing our roots down so that we could then build ourselves up and become these beautiful, magnificent trees that still have the embodiment of that inner child play. Letting go of expectations and perfectionism and allowing ourselves to exist in our bodies as is, because that's always been enough. To play with our balance, to remove the idea of having this aesthetic in our yoga practice. That's not what yoga is meant for. We're here to be messy and to return home to ourselves as many times as we need. To utilize every tool that we've built within our system with self, deepening our connection and relationship to self. So we've left the old, we've shed the layers, and now we're here, surrendering into the arms of Mama Earth, allowing for the death of the old. So we'll take a deep breath in and sigh out of the mouth of our letting go. Breathe in and release. Imagining that you're lying in a deep patch of grass, surrounded by tall trees. The beautiful night sky illuminated by a blanket of stars and the moon. As the light cascades down upon you, the energy of renewal. And maybe there's a gentle, warm breeze dancing through you. An invitation to let go. To know that you are safe here in your body and in the arms of Mama Earth as her child coming home to be reborn again. Shavasana. We'll gently begin to bring our awareness back into the moment
And maybe you take a full body breath in and a breath out. Starting to bring movement back into the body by wiggling fingers and toes. Beginning to circle out wrists and ankles. Maybe you extend those arms above the head, interlacing the fingers and taking a nice stretch with the body. Eventually drawing knees into the chest or planting the feet on the earth to rock side to side or windshield wipe the knees side to side. From here, you'll roll over into your fetal position, allowing the knees to fall to one side, cradling your head in your hands. The fetal position being our representation of the rebirth. In the womb of the universe. Spend another moment here. And then using your hands to very gently push yourself up into a seat with the eyes closed or a softened gaze as you feel your way there. Sitting however feels best. A cushion could be underneath you, could be in lotus, could be in crisscross. Allow the shoulders to relax. And give yourself a moment to observe how it feels to be in your body here compared to the start of practice. There's no right or wrong, it's just an observation without judgment. And you'll bring your hands to heart center, whatever that looks like for you. And we'll take a collective breath here. So it'll be a breath in and that sigh out of the body. So breathe in. Exhale. I just want to extend my gratitude to say thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for yourself, for choosing you through this class time, these moments you have with the teachers in this program. Just sending gratitude for you for existing, for choosing to nurture mind, body, and spirit, for shedding the layers, for doing the work, for taking the action. You showed up. You're continuing to show up if you're here again. And I'm very proud of you. Thank you for your trust in my guidance through this practice and for bearing with me through the angles of trying to get the shots as we flowed through this practice. And hopefully you felt your way through with compassion and love. Ridding yourself of the thoughts of being perfect or aesthetically pleasing. It doesn't exist in yoga and it doesn't exist in my classes or offerings. You just show up as you are, feeling your way through the shapes and the transitions and connecting to your breath. Thank you for being here. Bringing thumbs up to third eye center and between the eyebrows. The light in me honors, sees, and respects the light in you. We bow to say thank you. Thank you to the ancestors and originators of this practice. Thank you to my teachers and guides before me. And thank you to those who continue these sacred practices. Blessings. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Thank you for being here. We are going to transition into the creative activity. I won't be doing it on camera with you guys. It's going to be your actionable step that you take for your homework, but I am just going to show you mine and just go over how to kind of set it up for yourself. So this is my end product. This is what I did for myself. And so to show you kind of what's here is I got a cork board. Now I do start by writing out my affirmations, and reminders. So going off of the practice that we had last week, turning those negative automatic thoughts into more positive, loving ones to help reprogram the mind and bring yourself into a state of love, of self-compassion, of self-respect, and self-trust with the dialogue and relationship you've built with yourself. All of that matters, as I said last week, and what we talked about, and this is the final product of what you'll be able to create. And so we're on this step of making these reminders and affirmations. And so you can spend your whole week kind of coming up with different ones. You do not have to fill the whole board like immediately. You'll just go on your own pace, your own timing. And even when we get to next week to do our very last edition, which is this part right here, but we're not there yet, so we're going to skip this part. I'll tell you about it next week. But as you get to this step right here, it's okay if by next week you only have like 4 or 5 on here, if you don't have it like fully complete, because this is something you can use like throughout life. So you might just come up with ones in 3 months from now and be able to add it to your board. So don't think you have to have it at this level yet. When I first started this, I think I had probably about 75% of it done. I added a bunch more in here, and I think I revised some of them as well. So you really will get to play with it and everything. But these are all my affirmations and reminders that I come to my board daily and recite. And that is what we're going to practice today. So again, this is like the final product. If you don't have a cork board, you need to go buy one or thrift one, or, ask someone for one. That's totally fine. You could also not do a cork board like I was saying in the beginning, and you could honestly just use a piece of paper. Could be regular plain paper, could be construction paper, whatever it is that you've got or want to use. And then also with these papers, you can frame them if you do want to add that like protection over it. You could frame it as well. Scissors to cut out your pieces of paper that you'll be using. You could also use Post-it notes if you have Post-it notes. And then you're just going to cut it out. I'll do this one with you guys. So I'm just cutting this one. I'm going to use a Sharpie for this. And the one that I'm going to write is, I love all of me. Which is true. And you can like make it, fun. Here, I wrote, I love all of me, and I drew little hearts all around there. I'll show from another angle. I love all of me. And then you would take your board, whatever you're using, grab your tape, and I do the classic, like, folding it in on itself. Bring it to the back. And of course, you'll tape it how you wish. You might want to have the corners taped down, or one at the top, one at the bottom. You'll take your board here and you'll place it wherever you want to put it. And then first one done. And so once you start to fill this up, so let's say you just have 1 to like 3 on your board today, then today, tomorrow, every day, starting right now, you're going to recite this daily. So I would come to my board in the morning and I would say, deep breath in, deep breath out. I love all of me. And so this is the start of your own affirmations wall, affirmations board, reminder board, whatever you wish to call it. And that is going to be your activity, creative piece, utilizing what we did last week of turning our automatic, negative, heavy, harmful thoughts into some more loving, positive, and embodied thoughts that we will take with us through the rest of our lives. So I hope that you enjoyed this class today. Again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns at all, please just leave a comment. You can email me, flowwithlow22@gmail.com. And yeah, that was our class today. So thank you again so much for being here. I appreciate you. I send so much love to you, your mind, body, and spirit. Give yourself some love and gratitude as well. And I will see you next week if we don't chat beforehand. Bye.